Hi and welcome back, all of you, in a new episode in a new classes, right? So today we are going to learn about infusion, right? Infusion fluid. That is right. Today we are our topic is infusion fluid, and on the previous day, you all know that we discussed about the what kind of the fluid we are going to give a patient. We have to decide that according to the patient's condition and according to the patient's need, according to the patient's prehistory, and that is a couple of things you have to know before the before you give the proper fluid and proper fluid management by you uh, for the patients, right? So in the pre-operative mood, when you are decided to give the fluid, you have to check couple of things. So check couple of things, right? That is the IV channel. We commonly take the name as the IV channel. That is the intravenous channel, and is it working properly or not? It must be working properly for the right properly, right? The next portion we have to check, that is IV channel, and next I have to check that is the patient's conditions. Third things we have to check, that is the patient's need, not echo what the patient want. Patients need, if the patient is diabetic or not, if the patient is normal or not, if the patients are arithmetic or something heart diseases, have a history of the patients, right? So I'm taking the wrong sentence, that is the patients is a heart disease patients or not. So we have to check the couple of things. So patients health need, that is mainly the patient's diabetic or not. So this is the main important thing you have to check and you have to know. If you give the wrong fluid a diabetic patient, then it must be cause a huge problem for the patient's health during the operations, right? So the now we would like to take a look of the patient's infusion fluid. Must be two types, that is the colloid types and the crystalloid type, right? So what is the colloid type? This is the normal saline type fluid, that is and what is the crystalloid type? This is a jelly type fluid, right? You know, in the from the chemistry from the 11th classes, that is what is crystalloid, what is colloid. So I would not like to describe that more. So you have to know about that, and then you can get the proper idea of the crystalloid type, what is the crystalloid and what is the colloid. Mainly this is, if you want to recall, that is the normal type of the normal saline type of the fluid is referred as was crystalloid colloid type, and the what is the jelly type fluid is known as a crystalloid type because of the crystal structure. So it is, so jelly type fluid in the if we break down jelly type fluid is a molecule, then we can found a crystal structure. So it's called as the crystalloid type, right? So now what is the normal saline type fluid? So we would like to take a look and want to know about the example That is the what is crystal colloid type. That is NSRL. I have explained some of this two fluid in the previous section, that is the NS and RL. Now R is D5, and what is the colloid type? That is a Hester, right? And blood. So you have to know both of that fluid properly, right? We would like to discuss about blood in another video, but would like to uh, know details about the Hester in this video, right? And RS, NS, and RL, right? So first of all, would like to take a look about uh, when we use RL, when we use RS, when we use RNS, right? So this is this is the, I have mentioned before that these three things are also connected with this portion, right? So this is the portion, and that's why it is very, very, very important to know the patient is diabetic or not. So commonly, if we able to know patient is diabetic, then we must use, if patient diabetic, then we use obviously NS, right? If the patient is normal, then we obviously our first choice would be RL, and we have to know that RL is the first choice of fluid for any kind of patient. For any kind of patients, right? So this is the main fluid. We if the patients come into T, and if we know the patient is not diabetic, then we must use RL for the first time, and then according to the patient's condition and health behavior to the during the OT, would like to change the fluid type, right? So if now we'll now we'll see patients is uh, diabetic, right? So this is the portion we have to know, and that is the patient is diabetic, right? Then we have to give NS, and then for the patients, NS would be the first choice of fluid, right? Then it is the first choice of fluid, right? So if the NS is not working, not available, or if the patient health is not better, then must be we use RS. But RS would be the better choice than NS forever for a diabetic patient. You have to remember that NS RS is always better choice than NS, right? So this is the couple of things, and this is the first portion. If you recall the whole this diagram only, then you would able to know infusion fluid exact properly, and no one can beat you, right? So we would like to learn couple of things for further, right? So this is the normal colloid type of fluid, and we have to know this portion, right? That is the from here, right? We have to know about Hester and blood, and these two section we would like to give to the patients according to the patient's condition of his or her health during the OT. So it is not usually given, right? So why this type of the fluid given? If that is the only sections, if patient's uh, blood losses high during OT and uh, more blood need, right? So if a serious kind of the patients always need blood. So this is the section the patient would obviously lose his blood during the OT, the serious kind of the patient, so he obviously needs blood. So the blood is given. We would able to know further in the anatomy and physiology section about the blood, and we about the blood from 12th classes and 11th classes, all of you much smarter, so you always know about the blood, right? And haster is also given in that time if blood losses is not too high but obviously high of a certain point, then a certain point, right? So then we would obviously give haster for recovering the blood loss, right? So this is the main things we would use crystalloid, and this is the main things we would have to know about the crystalloid, right? So this is the portion you have to know about this, and if you know this and if you want details more, then I would make a separate video on this. So if you like the video, then do subscribe and like, comment, share. I'd obviously comment down to let me